Maglia, you're on.
How you doing?
Good, and you?
Good. Lou Samaglia, Director of Veteran Services, 26 Allen Park Drive, for the record. I gave everybody my, the financial committee statement, justification letter, I guess if you wanna call it, for what we do. And I wanna highlight a couple of things. With the Vetrospec system that I've spoke of, now we've had for over 2 years. That's the one on the miscellaneous contractual services, $450 for the license for it every year. And I had mentioned how it's gonna save us money. It's amazingly easy now to do a VA claim. It's completely paperless. So, but we could also pull numbers from it. So it's kinda neat, we can pull some numbers. Veterans serviced in 2019 were 744, and that's not counting walk-ins. There's no way to put those in there right now. The total forms for 2019 were 1,135.
All Wilmington residents?
99% of them, yeah.
Wow.
And well, maybe not quite that high, 95% maybe, 90. But when it says total forms, that means like an application is one form, but it has 6 pages. And in the application, you also have to send in a POA, which is a page, and there's numerous pages, but that's just, I guess, the list of the form number, if you will, 1,135. 125 new claims were opened last year. And, I'm sorry, the application's 5 pages. I misspoke on that. And then we have a breakdown of spousal claims, widows, veterans by the zip code of you could do by your town, and it's a nice tool, and number one, it's easy. Mike puts everything in the system, hits send, and it's in Boston. It's just been a phenomenal tool for us. First year was 400, and last year was 450, and this year's 450 again. Obviously, our population is aging. Our World War II Korea vets are in their 90s now, high 90s and 80s. And our biggest population of veterans is our Vietnam era veterans. They're in their 70s now.
Wow.
So, yeah. So that's another, and that's probably our biggest population by veterans by conflict. Everything else is really cut and dry. The $2,500 for training and conference, I believe half of that is refunded by the state for our winter conference, October conference. That's the DVS training one, and it's a mandatory training because we have to be certified. So they reimburse the municipalities for the cost, the hotel room, everything.
Oh, wow, okay.
So that's a good one. Office supplies has remained stable around 600. Salaries are what they are. The step increases, and the veterans assistance to Chapter 115 has declined over the past few years, and that is because, unfortunately, a lot of our seniors that were on the benefit have passed. The younger ones that we can help them get either, or even the senior ones, we help them get a VA claim, whether it's a service-connected disability or a pension of some sort, so they're getting more money, so we can take them off the Chapter 115. They're living better because they're getting more money. And one number I did forget to bring was the amount of VA money, Mike, that comes in annually.
Ooh, I don't know that off the top.
It's like almost $500,000 a month.
Yeah,
Yeah, 400,000 something a month.
That's great.
So that comes into the town, 01887 veterans and widows from the VA. So that's a direct result of the Vetrospec system, doing claims and getting them adjudicated a lot faster than we have in the past. I've been doing this 15 years now, and it's up and down. So I remember times when claims would take 2+ years.
Wow.
And, oh yeah, and now if we put all our ducks in a row, and Mike does a good job with that, we put in what we call a fully developed claim. Here's all the information, here's all the evidence, if you will, make a decision. And we're getting it going a lot faster, which is good for the veteran, obviously. And because Chapter 115 is for indigent veterans, it's not a high income threshold. It's an extremely helpful tool, and I feel bad for seniors and seniors and widows that are not veterans or widows of veterans, because seeing the income of some of these people that are on these benefits, wonderful, honorable people that have served their country and are widowed from a veteran, and we're able to help them pay for prescriptions, pay for heat. It's an amazing thing, and I feel bad for people that can't take advantage of this, because it's tough out there. If you're just on Social Security,
Exactly.
it's tough. So this program here is an amazing program. I know you've all heard me say we're the only state that offers it with the 75% reimbursement. And that's reflected in the local aid, veterans benefit, $191,050. That's the 75%.
Yeah.
That's the 75% of what we
What you
spent
put in.
last year.
Right. It's a year
They're like a
behind.
year behind.
A year behind.
But we get the quarterly payments, and they're pretty close to what we're spending now.
Yeah.
It's kind of plateaued. And the exemptions for vets, blind, surviving spouses, a large part of that, $158,000, is the reimbursements we get for veterans, disabled veterans, tax exemptions and whatnot. That's a large, I don't have the breakdown of what it is, but a large portion of that is because of our, the disabled veterans tax exemption is reimbursed from the state.
Now, is that a flat fee, or is it a percentage?
Full.
Full?
If you're 10 to 90% service-connected disabled, you get $400 off your property tax.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's state mandate, so they reimburse the full amount.
Oh, wow.
100% is get $1,000 off. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's another nice benefit. And the walk-in, it's just been wonderful. Our office that I've been in for 11 years now, which is amazing.
Time flies.
Yeah, it really does. But it's an amazing location, nights, weekends, Labor Day, Memorial Day, Veterans Day, we're in and out of there, moving stuff around. It's just, to have groups some evenings, it's just been a wonderful fit over there. So all this stuff about building and stuff, we're good. To take us off the list, we don't want anything.
Yeah, happy.
Don't even mention us, okay?
Yeah, just leave us alone.
Exactly. No, it's a great location. We have one of the best offices in the state. Secretary Arena's been there a few times, and he's blown away every time. And if you have a chance to swing by, you should, because we have the portraits of all the kids that have died since 9/11 on the wall. That Gina Johnson from the artist from Woburn does them when they're killed in action or died on active duty, like Ken McDonald that we just had to do the service for, which was an amazing turnout. The Navy really stepped up. We received the body off the plane with the family, and it was nice. It was deserved. So we don't like doing those, but when you do them, you have to do them right.
Yeah. Any questions for Lou, or?
I have one question.
Sure.
Last year, we talked about Tewksbury wanting to form a district
Mhm.
veteran service office or some sort of combined service thing. Is there any news on that? Did that?
Yes, I'm glad you asked that. The town manager in Tewksbury, Richard Montori, Jeff and myself met. I think they kind of shifted gears because they hired another person, so now they have 2 full-timers over there. I did meet with him since, kind of an informal, quick meeting. He thanked me for all the work that we had done to present the district to him. And right now, it's gotten a lot better. I still kind of the point man for crisis situations. The police department calls me, which is fine. I'm right here, and I know a lot of these kids anyway. 2 weeks ago, we had to go over there for a little bit, but that's something that I mostly do at night hours anyway, if need be. So there's no more talk about a district.
Okay.
He's talking about a district with dispatch. They built that nice building on Whipple Road, but yeah, there's 2 towns in it, I think. So,
That's right, I think it's Dracut and Tewksbury.
yeah, it's a nice building. Have you been by?
I have,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's pretty nice. But yeah, no,
Okay.
they hired another person for Lisa. So now Lisa has Donna in the front, and we've got them pretty organized over there now.
Good.
Yeah.
Have you seen an uptick in substance abuse or a downtick, anything?
Still there, yeah, it's pretty high. I mean, no, I shouldn't say it's pretty high. As a matter of fact, it's gotten better. I had a young man in my office today that had some issues, and through the help of the Wilmington Police Department and myself, and getting him to Brockton at 1 o'clock in the morning, that was the last time he got high. And he was in my office today. He's looking to buy a house. He's getting his master's in social work. He's getting his master's in social work. So he's doing amazing. But there's quite a few good stories like that. So it does go up and down. The holidays are a little rough sometimes, but we checked on a few other ones today, and everybody seems to be doing so good right now. But yeah, it's I'd say it's going down. Yeah, yeah. VA offers a lot of help for that, but they got to be ready.
Right.
And also the home base program with Mass General, phenomenal. Phenomenal. That place is just amazing. The work they're doing with these young guys, it's amazing. And they just built a new place down by the Constitution in Charlestown. That's why my son does the run for him, the run for the fallen. Well, you could donate to him if next time it comes around. But yeah, that's an amazing program. So they have a lot of substance abuse programs, and but at the end of the day, it's got to be up to the individual, you know. So, but we try and help them make that decision.
Talk about the Brave Act.
Brave Act, yes, there's a couple of, the Valor Act was signed, I believe, when Mitt Romney was in office, and there was some provisions in there for veterans benefits, and there was a Valor Act 2, and there's a Brave Act. Couple things on it. One of them was, it was just on the news recently. If you are arrested, first time arrested, you can't have a record, you have to be clean, you're a veteran, you go in front of the judge and you say, I want to use the Brave Act. He says, okay, and if he agrees, the judge agrees, you go away for 2 weeks, you get your stuff together, get in programs, if it's a drunk driving thing or something, you go in programs and go back and it's a wonderful part of, it's I've used it a few times, not me personally, but Woburn Court and Lowell Court, and it's you know, guys are back on the force, and guys are back firefighters, and guys are back to work in the private sector, and it's good. It just happened, that one thing. And it was kind of on that, it was very misleading on that thing on Channel 5.
Right, it's getting a bad rap, yeah.
Yeah, you know, here's a kid from Wilmington, by the way, is back on the Cambridge Police Force, who's doing awesome. Honor guard, he's an instructor, you know, motorcycle cop, all that stuff. Did all the right stuff, and the only reason I could think that they did something like that was to expose it. But also part of that is there's some tax exemptions. You know what, I should have brought a little more on that. If I mentioned the 400 and 1,000 tax exemptions. Widows of a veteran that dies of a service-connected disease or disability. That's a direct result of his death. And they were married at the time, and the wife gets what they call the DIC pension. The full property tax is waived.
Oh, wow.
Full. There's some provisions in there about if it's in a trust, they can't do it. And a lot of elders, as we know, are putting their properties in trust to protect them, but they're still living there and paying rent and taxes, whatever, bills. So there's a provision for that. And if the veteran dies of a service-connected disease or disability or killed in action, parents could also be eligible. Now, the thing with that is the people that are on this wonderful plan in Wilmington, I believe there's 11 of them, their husbands died of a service-connected disease or disability, they're getting the full tax abatement. There's nobody in Wilmington that is a Gold Star family that would qualify for this right now. It may open it up to the ones that are on the spousal one now. It would open it up if their parents were still alive and owned a house in Wilmington.
Right.
But the widows that are on this benefit are in their 70s and 80s, and so that, as of right now, thank God, nobody would qualify as a Gold Star family to get their taxes waived. That I believe is a town option. Is that the one that's a town option? I'm sorry, I should have brought that. We just met on this. There's some local options in there.
Right.
Some towns match the 400 and the 1,000. They eat it. The state will reimburse the 400 and 1,000. The RICA matches it, so you get $800 off for $2,000. That's not what we're going for in the articles that are going to be proposed. It's about the Gold Stars, which, if Wilmington lost a son or a daughter over there right now, I would think that was the least we could do, is waive their property tax. The state of Massachusetts is by far the best for veteran services. We're the only state that has the Chapter 115 program. We're the only state that has a veteran service officer in every city and town, by law, if you have over 12,000 residents. And part-time if you're under the 12,000. So these Valor Acts and Brave Acts were all, there's bonuses in there, annuities, welcome home bonuses, all these things are part of these acts that they sign every year. And adjust. The court one was adjusted because they did find somebody that used it a couple of times, but they make tweaks to them. But this is the state that it's ridiculous as far as the difference between us and other states. It's really amazing. There is nobody like this, and check that. Not in every city and town. They do have VSOs, maybe in the State House, or if you have a VFW or American Legion that's active, they might have a good VSO. But by far, we are the best. So I should have done a little home. It's
So
clause
just to
22
be-
ED.
Just to be clear on those Valor Act benefits, those would be charged to the overlay reserve that we have, in the assessor's budget.
But there is no Gold Star families, thank God.
Can you forward that information to us?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did the whole breakdown of it.
Okay.
When we met with Selectman Eaton.
Okay, that'd be great.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I'd
And I
appreciate that.
apologize, I didn't even think of that when I was
No,
preparing
no
for
problem,
tonight.
no problem, just get it to us, and we can take a
I
look
feel
at
to be
it.
home by now.
Soon.
Let's see, you have
Who's the
another,
new girl?
you have another hour. We have another hour.
Okay, all right. But, that's it in a nutshell. We have an awesome office. We get a lot of work done. We're the experts at getting experts. We get calls all the time on just stuff, kids in the jam to, somebody needs burial help or it's pretty amazing. It's a pretty amazing job.
Well, not for anything, but congratulations, you and your staff have done a great job.
Yeah, thank you.
A
Thank
fantastic
you.
job.
Here.
And good luck, guys, thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
thank you, that
Yeah.
was, another thing I wanted to say is the position that the Elder Services and Veteran Services, we've been talking about it for
Mhm.
years now, it's come to fruition, it's worked out perfect.
That's great.
I immediately, one of the first week or so, I found another World War II vet that I didn't have, obviously I don't know all the veterans, and Patty has been working with a young man, World War II vet that we didn't know about, and there's a lot of crossover with paperwork,
Mhm.
income paperwork for fuel assistance, income paperwork for applying for anything.
Yeah.
We have it all. We can keep it, we have to keep it.
Mhm.
Whereas the Elder Services really can't. They can't keep people's, unless it's a case where there's, needed help.
Mhm.
But we have all that information, so it's been a real good crossover to the two departments. So much so, the town manager in Billerica, who just hired a superstar veterans agent, what we trade in our office, but I sat in on the interviews and I was telling him about Patty and what we had
Yeah.
done. He asked me to send him the resume, the job description.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, just because he
Makes
thought it was a
sense.
good idea, yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
Oh, it's,
Yeah, don't send her a resume.
yeah, that, I meant job description. He did mention that, so did Richard, by the way.
Lou, we appreciate everything that
Yeah.
you and your
Yeah.
staff do, and we're very proud of the job that you do.
Yeah, thank you.
It's
Thank you.
fantastic.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any other questions for Lou? No? Thank you, sir. I
Mm.
appreciate it.
All right, thank
Enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next is Elder Services.
Thank you.
57. Page 57.
If I could, I'm just gonna pass these out. Pass those down, and then, thank you. Pass these down. Thank you.
Good evening, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
I can't believe it's already been another year.
It went fast.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
Oh, my goodness, look at this.
So, I thought, this year it's, 2 years ago, we had done, PowerPoint presentation on the increase in the population and the concerns of, overall in the United States and then as in Wilmington. But I thought it was really important to show truly how it is impacting Wilmington. Actually, let me get my little cheat sheet. So for example, I thought it was really important to put 60 and over on the first page to show that between 2010 and 2020, we have a 49% increase. And that between 2020 to 30, they're expecting a 33% increase. So they're thinking when I say this, with all the census that comes in the state, they've been pretty accurate with the numbers that they're projecting. Say for example, in 2017, we had, because the numbers are still coming out, but in 2017, we had 5,021 people ages 60 and over. So it is really this projection, and what this is showing you is pretty right on.
Mm-hmm.
Is pretty right on. So I just thought that was really important to show as a town, and as to what's happening with our population. So then on the next page, I wanted to show that from 2017 to 2019, the participation that's been going on. We see that it's on a daily basis, and then we've taken it on a monthly basis. You do see that in 2019, it went from around 174 people in the month of June, and then it dipped down to 117 in July. And the reason for that dip was for a week we were closed for programming because we were redoing our floors. So that's why you're seeing that dip. And then during the holidays, it is that's a normal pattern. That it does go down.
Are these participants all Wilmington residents?
95% of them are. We do have people from Tewksbury, Burlington, Billerica, and Reading that
Okay.
do come by for our line dancing, some of our exercise programs.
Is there a charge for non-residents?
No, there isn't.
Okay.
No, there isn't.
These
The
programs
only-
are offered at the other senior centers?
Yes, they do. Well, each town is a little bit different as to what they provide, and also space of availability of doing their programming. But when I say we don't have a cost to outside residents for our exercise programs and programs that are held within the building. If we do a trip, I usually for Wilmington residents, I usually do a lower rate, but someone that's outside the town has to pay the full cost.
Do you have them identify themselves when they come in to participate
So
as
this is-
not being from Wilmington?
Yes, so I wanted to show you, last time I was talking about
Mhm.
how I get these statistics and how I get this information. My crucial key player is Lisa Finicos, who is the assistant elder coordinator, her title is now. She is the person that makes sure that all the forms are filled for people to be coming into the senior center, and then everybody gets this tag. And that we have that computer touch screen, so when they come in, they put this code bar on, and then we know exactly what town, who they are, everything about them. Then there's this touch screen, they say the activities that they're doing for that day. So we know at that day how many people are not from Wilmington, we know right away who's in the building.
That's good.
So, and this, I have to say, I thank you very much, because it was a few years back that you approved of this program, My Senior Center, and it has been a fantastic tool. It's a wonderful, wonderful tool.
Does that database also give you emergency contacts?
Correct,
Okay,
yes.
yeah.
So at any time, say for example, just a couple weeks ago, someone did fall within the senior center, and immediately we can just pop that information right up, and we can get their emergency contacts, who the doctor, if they prefer,
Yep.
that type of information.
That's great.
It's also helpful to the EMTs
Mhm.
and the police as to the information they need to get from the elder if she's unable or he's unable to give it to them. And also what again, the hospital that they prefer, Winchester versus Leahy.
Okay. Now, how often do you update the information?
Actually, it's on a regular basis, because of the activity, that is in and out of the building, the names are always popping up. So as in, I'd say this past year we updated a majority, 90% of them, just because of the sometimes with the change of people passing or people moving out of the area.
Well, no, just that, I mean, the contacts might change, the doctors might change.
People are really good about,
Okay.
about sharing information.
Okay.
Also in the system too is our home delivered meals, people that we just serve home delivered meals to, and that has to be kept, up to date
Mhm.
on a regular basis.
Okay.
So then if we, just kind of general information as to what is being covered through the budget, obviously our staff, but I'm gonna go on beyond the staff. I think it's important for you to know for the senior center, there has been some discussion, the senior center, itself for programming is open from 9 to 4:30, but the department itself, as in the social service part, is open from 8:30 to 5. And then so last year we started a pilot program, with on Thursday, every third Thursday, after, the daylight savings, as to, having extended hours till 7, and it went very well. So we'll be starting that again in March next month, which I can't believe. I'm excited that we're getting to change the time again. Hallelujah. So that'll be 8:30 to 7:30 on those nights. And then our men's group is the first and third Monday of every month, and the center's open from 7 in the morning till 5 on
Have you
those days.
considered Saturday hours?
At this time, there is no Saturday hours.
Have you considered it, though?
Have we considered, in talking to, well, we do from time to time, we do have events if we have it on the weekend, whether it be a trivia day or, like the thing that we did at Yentile Park, and, so there have been some occasions, but on a regular basis, I kinda question it because, and can do further investigation, but in talking to, say for example, even the city of Cambridge, my peer there, I'm actually it's wonderful, I'm on the Massachusetts Council on Aging Board, so I get to talk to these, thank God I know them firsthand, so I can just give a buzz and ask.
Yep.
Cambridge at this time, for their Saturdays, with being a city, is seriously thinking of stopping Saturdays because it has been a decline. They really can't put their finger on it as to why, because they do have a free breakfast program. So they're thinking of not having it or doing a seasonal type thing as we do for Thursdays. Bill Ricca, I think Bill Ricca has Saturdays. They did that as a pilot program. From the predecessor of the director right now, and they've kept it in, and they're also debating to do different type of program because it had gone down a little bit, and they're trying to figure it out. And the other town that I'm aware of is Bedford. Bedford does it. Bedford has a lot of different hours. Their hours are kind of all over because they're social. They had a social worker. Originally, that social worker, she had another. There was something else going on, so she extended. It was better for her to have evening hours to
Okay.
be able to help do support groups, which then grew, and they started their Saturdays. So those are the 3 towns I'm aware of. The other towns that are in our area, they're not open on Saturdays. They do have a few different hours, but they tend to mimic what the town hall, remember that phase where people were closed half days on Fridays? So they did that too and extend their hours either on Wednesdays or Thursday evenings,
Okay, thank you.
so. For home delivered meals, if that's on the contractual services, the hot lunch program. Just to let you know that, so for the year 2019, we serviced 3,743 meals, which is 198 elders benefit from that program. Again, these elders can either receive it Monday through Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We're pretty flexible, but that's how that total of 3,743. That's Monday through Friday. We do have eight drivers, 2 drivers a day. They get a $26 stipend, and they get reimbursed mileage. As you see in the asterisks for this and also for the following for transportation, if anything should happen to those drivers, whether they be ill or they can't come to work, it's been the case manager Laura Pickett and myself, and just recently Patty, that will jump in and do these meals. And that is one of the reasons that we were for the assistant, the elder coordinator assistant job that we were speaking of, to help with that position so that we're not being pulled away from situations that we really should be active with and doing home delivered meals. The same thing is with our transportation. We have a phenomenal van driver, Sonia. Everyone loves her. She's a full-time driver, and she travels for the medical transportation within the 13-mile radius, but within town there's shopping, banking, into the senior center, those types of things. Again, if we're in a pickle, that we're overloaded with transportation or something should occur, Laura and I have been the backup for that. And again, we're trying to coordinate a position to be able to be helpful with that, as you'll see in further on. So the social service part of the department, and that's the case manager, and the assistant caseworker. So we do the fuel assistance, food stamps, as you can see the numbers that we're servicing, the free income tax program, which are currently going on right now. Assist in, believe it or not, renewing relicense, driver's license and identification cards. It's been extremely complicated for people to renew their license or get an identification card.
With the real ID?
The real ID,
Yeah.
and people have been very, very exasperated with the system. And in fact, Senator Tarr was extremely helpful in some situations that were occurring at the registry. So we've been assisting people with that, one-on-one, bringing them. So providing housing options, that could be state housing, independent living, assisted living, nursing home, and home. Home meaning people staying at home, but they could be needing coordinating services to maintain and to help them be independent as possible. So that could be through private, state-funded programs, visiting nurses, or hospice.
Terry, just to interrupt you for a second.
Yeah.
The fuel assistance and the free income tax programs,
Yep.
is that for income eligible people?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so even the free income tax program is for,
So free income tax, I'm so sorry, no, the free income tax program is not income eligible. The
I'm
free-
just surprised that there's only 180 out
So,
of 37,000.
Well, let me explain to you why.
Okay.
It's based on volunteers, it's through AARP, and they only could come once a week.
Oh.
In that once a week time, they come on, last year, for the statistics of the 180, in 2019, it ran the first Tuesday of February, and it ran through the second week of April, and they did 18 a day. So that's why it's such, they were very, very busy, but again, they could only do once a day. And again, it's at that, last year there was 6 volunteers. This year we're down to 4 volunteers working with us. So it's a very, very needed service, but
Yeah.
I'm afraid to say it's getting tougher and tougher, and I'm not sure what's going to be happening in the future with these free income tax services.
Can you get someone like
it's a
H&R
story for
Block or
another.
Jackson Hewitt to donate some time to the senior center?
That's a very good, that might be our need to reach out to them,
Because a lot do give back to the community, and it's a
Mhm.
shot.
Yeah.
Yep,
you
it
know.
is worth a shot.
You know, it's-
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll take note of that one. So then the next page, protective services, of course, a subject we all don't like to speak about, but in 2019, there are 81 protective service cases. Now, when we see that number, again, this town, as in a strong community, as in our police and fire, and with the case management that we have, and with the connections that we have in the hospitals, I think it's knowledge. The knowledge has made people feel more comfortable in discussing things with us and working things out, and feeling better about, the need to report. And we work very closely with Minuteman Senior Services, and when these cases do come, Minuteman Senior Services is the contracted agency that follows these cases.
Are these 81 different individuals?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So we assist the families and the elders. We sometimes we do need to go for court support with them. We coordinate services with. Sometimes the elders are very apprehensive of having Minuteman go in. With them knowing us, we assist in helping with Minuteman, the police, the fire, visiting nurse, and sometimes these people end up having to be in rehab or nursing home due to an emergency situation, or they need to go there, and we follow them also in that situation. And then some of these cases are crisis support through the fire and police. The other thing is, I write the open door policy for crisis intervention. That's the people, tend to do a walk-in of concerns of any financial, emotional, or informational needs they have. That's why it's really crucial that there are times that making sure that Laura and myself are there at the center to be able to have, to be able to do one-on-one, because you're just not sure who could be walking in need. So then when it comes to programs and activities, the Buzzell Senior Center piece, that's also part of the miscellaneous contractual services of the $24,450. But you'll see a mixture here between the grant, what the Executive Office of Elder Affairs grant, which we'll go into later, and what the town with the contractual services, what they cover. We're very fortunate with the Memory Cafe that's actually based on donations from Assisting Hands and WOW, which is very successful, I have to add, and Laura Pickett deserves kudos, our caseworker, case manager. Also the men's group, that is part of the contractual service. That's the twice a month, and that $1,200 is due to the food that we have to that we do provide. And Laura and I have gotten to know that kitchen pretty well as to whether we want to do French toast or eggs and bacon or pancakes. But the group has done very well. The caregiver support group that Laura runs monthly. The book club, that is of no cost to caregivers, it's all in kind. The book club, we've been doing wonderful with the book club once a month.
Is that in conjunction with the library at all, or?
Nope, actually it stands on its own.
Okay.
We had a volunteer that came forward that wanted to run a book club right at the center.
Oh, nice.
And so, and we'll speak on another intergenerational book club that's coming up too, as students approached us, which is very exciting. We also had the Giving Tree, and that was a strong support from the community and the Methodist Church and the Boy Scouts, Troop 56. The special homebound meal, I realize, I apologize, I did not write the actual cost. That money is this past year for 2019, that was all from the contractual money. That's for the spring, the winter, around the holidays, and then the summer right before the 4th of July, making sure that people feel that people that are homebound, they know that they are being recognized, that no one's being forgotten in the community. Social events, that's a monthly social events, so that fluctuates from month to month. The seminars and workshops. The evidence-based programs are usually covered by, we've been lucky that are being covered by grants. But then our wellness programs, whether it be Zumba, which is covered by Executive Office of Elder Affairs grant, Tai Chi, the grant, yoga is actually covered by the contractual services. Aerobics class, we have covered by the grant. The line dancing, we still have money from the Leahy Fund that we've been using for that was original grant that I've been able I don't know how mystically and magically stretch out.
Are they still contributing at all, or since
At
they,
this time, no, they,
with Beth Israel now and the whole nine
it's
yards?
kinda, with their, they still provide they have to give back to the community,
Mhm.
funds to the community. But the group that I was in at that time, due to their expansion of Winchester,
Mhm.
that whole group that we had has totally changed. So that's why it's not as accessible as it was at one time.
There is one lady from Winchester that does.
Margie Doyle,
No, I'll get you her name.
Mary Lou,
Yes, Mary
Mary
Lou.
Lou Hardy.
Yeah,
Actually, we are actually doing a program in April with them,
Yeah.
and actually they're very active working with us too, with the library, for the Healthy Aging Program, the
Mhm.
grant that that they got. So
Yeah,
yes,
'cause-
Mary Lou is
yeah,
part of
because
it.
they seem to be doing more than actually Leahy, even though they're still part of
Yes,
that
very much
medical
so.
group, you know, so.
Very much so. Mary Lou is phenomenal.
She's a very nice lady,
She is
yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah, I've had some interaction with her
Yeah, so
several
you have
times.
to come to our event in April. It's gonna be April 29th, I believe it is. So it's gonna be at the Knights of Columbus, and it's gonna be a social event with band and dinner,
Oh, nice.
luncheon. So
Nice.
feel free to come to that.
Thank you.
But it wouldn't happen without Mary Lou.
Yeah.
Also we have a new program, Dance and Tone, that's covered by the grant, that boot camp, that was so wonderful last year. People we got it back for this coming year, and people are very happy with that. Talia is the instructor. She is actually, her gym is over by Tres Mezzos. It's an indoor gym, and we have pictures of how these older adults really, they're in better shape than I am, as to the things that they do at boot camp. And then our chair exercises, actually we had 36 people on the class on Monday, for that group. It's led by a volunteer, very active group. Our Shine is all volunteer based. That's the health insurance assistance program. Then our monthly newsletter, part of it, $8,000, is covered by the contractual, and the rest is the Executive Office of Elder Affairs grant, and we do the producing and editing. But the printing and the bulk mailing, that's where the cost comes.
Mhm.
And obviously the post office just increased, even though it's bulk mailing, that price just gone up, as you probably all know. It's important to mention that we have a strong collaboration throughout the community. The department would not be the department without working with all the people that I'm going to be mentioning. We're very, very fortunate that this community works so tightly together. And in doing that, the town actually saves money, that you don't have to go through the budget, because everyone puts in their resources or volunteers their time. The assessor's office, we assist them with Patty, the assistant for both Lou and I. She's very active right now in the abatement program, helping with the abatement program and having people fill out those applications. With the Board of Health, Tracy Mello does come to the senior center on Mondays from 9 to 12, and does the blood pressure clinics for us, and also does from time to time educational trainings for us.
Do they also do the flu shots and shingle shots for you too, or?
Yes, she provides, she incorporates that in that Monday time.
Okay.
We used to do it separately, because that whole system is different, and
Yeah.
Board of Health will probably explain that better than me. But now she tries to incorporate in that time on the Mondays, and it's been working out very well. She has a great rapport, a wonderful rapport, with the elders, and there's a lineup on Monday mornings waiting to see her. And then they get very upset if she takes too long with others, but then they want her to take longer. But she does a fantastic program.
Do you give eye exams at all, or?
No,
No?
not at this time.
Okay.
No. That's, the environment that we have really couldn't, because we used to also years ago do hearing,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the environment itself, we really need a true closed-in room without windows or sound, and we don't really have that space for that right now. Maybe in the future we could, but, then the library, I can't say enough about the library in Charlotte Woods. She's doing the Healthy Aging Program. She did the grant, got the grant, and we're all working very closely, Laura, myself, Laura Pickett, the case manager, myself, working with Charlotte. I can't say enough about Charlotte. Charlotte's phenomenal. She's great. Working very closely with them. The Veterans Service, as Lou's sitting in my office today as we're trying to brainstorm about a case, both departments work very, very hand in hand, very well together. And now that we have Patty, those types of cases that we overlap, and the case that Lou brought up in her first week, someone that we've been working with very closely, and come to find out he's a World War II vet that didn't want to make that public, and as time goes, finding out that he is. So it's been working out wonderful, and I can't say enough that we're very, very happy with that. The police department. The police department is amazing. Officer Butch Alpers, it used to be Paul Chalafour, and then when he retired, everyone was upset. Well, he still pops in from time to time. And he's very helpful with us for our Memory Cafe. Butch, he's swung right into Paul's shoes, has been a wonderful advocate, and I have to say he has his pulse on what is going on in the elder community, and we both reach out to each other on a regular basis if we get concerned or we feel that anything from fraud, which I'm sorry, that's just rampant right now. Anything like that, we're very close with one another. Also, we have a new pilot program that you'll be seeing soon. It's called WARE, Wilmington Emergency Response for Elders, and that we'll be giving more information on that for next year. But we're very excited that we've been working very hard on this program. It's like a Silver Alert type program, but it will be for Wilmington. With Laura Pickett having her pulse on what's happening with the caregivers and the stress of whether it be dementia and Alzheimer's situations of someone getting lost in our community, this just steps it up. In the police department and fire department have been very supportive in trying to get this off the ground, and we look forward to it for the year 2020. And so also for 2018, who now is the chief, Desmond and Samantha did the whole mental health program, and the elders really responded to that program.
She's very good.
Oh, she's
Yeah,
another asset. I
Yeah.
mean, we're just so fortunate in so many ways in this town. Another asset, and she's been wonderful. But those types of programs, and we're ongoing with communication with them for at risk. The Senator Tarr and Representative Robertson, they have monthly meetings at our center to do one-on-one, whether it be their aides or themselves, to do one-on-one speaking with people. But they also are very, very, in fact, I was talking to Representative's office this afternoon about an elder having severe issues with medical insurance coverage. So we're also very, very well connected with both of those offices.
Does Representative Gordon ever show up, or?
I have to say at this time, we see each other in passing and things, but I need to really reach out to him. It's just because there's such a small population that it tends to be David, Representative Robertson, that I'm more attuned to.
Yeah, but I'd still invite him. He's still
Oh my gosh, if you've in Burlington, I'm very the director there. Work very closely with her, and he's a character over at the Burlington office, I have to say. So I've seen him in action there. Intergenerational, we do have, that's part of the also the contractual. There's $800 being taken from that. That's more for food. Food is very important for any of these programs that do go on. Lisa Desberg, she's an English teacher. She is doing a few programs with us. It started with senior to senior, where seniors were interviewing seniors from high school back and forth. She incorporated in her class. She's another outstanding person that totally gets it, just totally gets it. And this year we're working with sophomores. She's bringing her sophomore class in. So it's a great program. The Girl Scouts, we have a Girl Scouts and the, it's not brownies, but we'll call them brownies. I know they're gonna beat me up later, but, they are very, active with us. They reach out to us. They, for those special meals that we do, they make things for those special meals. Actually, and the thing that I'm very excited about is, I'm trying to think about the thing that we're very excited about right now is we have 2 middle school students from Girl Scouts. They're going for their silver, it's not the golden, but it's part of that. And they decided to do a book club, but the book club it would be a book that make sure that it's a book that they could discuss intergenerationally. These are 8th graders that have taken this upon themselves and the ideas that they have are just amazing. So again, they reached out to us. And then additionally, and also we're very, due to our case manager, Alzheimer's Association, we're very close with and do wonderful programming with, and that's another free resource. Additionally, that's coming, you'll see for for furnishings and equipment, that's for chairs. We're in a point where we need more chairs to go into the building that we're kind of worn out, so we're starting a little bit at a time. So those will be for chairs to be replaced within the
Now,
center.
you've got money to replace the kitchen over there.
So, isn't that nice that you brought that up? So we did receive a $30,000 grant from Representative Davidson, Robertson, and
Bruce.
Senator Tarr. And from that $30,000, actually we're actively in progress right now, and another kudos goes to George Hooper and Public Buildings, because currently as we speak, we have 2 floors, the arts and crafts room and the game room.
Mm-hmm.
The arts and crafts room had a indoor-outdoor rug, and the seam was starting to come apart, and actually someone
Trip and fall,
seriously got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
We tripped up the rug, and we found that the hardwood floor, so we just got those redone.
Oh, nice.
So that has taken from that. We actually, the entranceway to both the game room and the arts and crafts room, there is a center pole structure that has been taken out and new doors, so it'll be easy access in and out. Again, in order to maintain just keeping things functioning, these are the things that are being done. In the kitchen, we have, there's gonna be new cabinets. The cabinets that we currently have were made of that particle board.
Oh, yeah.
And so the drawers in the cabinets were just falling apart to the point where the insert in the drawer came out. So we're very, very fortunate for George Hooper to make a connection with the correctional office as to they have a program in Shirley that makes furniture, and they're making our cabinets.
Wow.
So they will be coming in hopefully the end of February, beginning of March.
What about the appliances?
So, and then the appliances, currently we're gonna be, the refrigerators have been updated, but that was there were 2 refrigerators that we got at the beginning of this year. We're at, from Elder Affairs. But the stove, currently we went to, George and I went to go check out the stove. The stove is just gonna need a little repair. We're finding that in 35 years of restaurant and commercial stuff, things really haven't changed much. But we do need it, the dishwasher and the new kitchen, 2 kitchens, 2 sinks
Okay.
do need to be, and the countertops. So we're hoping that we're hoping, you know how you always say if you say something, you're afraid that if it's not done, especially when it comes to construction or kitchen design.
It will never be done.
So, but they're getting it done a little earlier when we're getting the cabinets, but I'm hoping by the end of March, beginning of April, it will be complete, cause, some of the stuff is quote unquote in kind because of, George's department is
Yeah.
being extremely helpful in taking out the cabinets, and I can't tell you the things that they've been so helpful with, so yes, that goes to the 30,000.
The other
But
question,
we also have, I'm sorry.
go ahead.
We also budgeted some more money.
I'm sorry, the additional 10.
Yeah.
Yes, and that has been helping with, George probably could speak a little more to that, because I'm not sure exactly the true numbers for, because they're replacing the stall, the dividers for the bathroom stalls.
Mhm.
They're actually repairing those, cause they got rusted out, so some of those funds are coming from
George
that
will be here next week,
$10,000.
so we can
Yeah,
go
yeah.
with him on that one.
So that's right, I'm sorry, yes, the $10,000 additional was helpful.
The other question I had, and I don't see it in your offerings, is what are you doing for technology with the seniors so they can be in contact with their grandkids or their kids if they don't live in this area?
So, thank you for bringing it up, and I apologize for not having, we do have a computer room.
Mhm.
We did have a person that did do a lot of technology training, and moved south. So, and loving the beautiful sun right now. But they come in, we do have regular people that come in to
Okay.
use our computers, most definitely on a regular basis. And we
And-
actually have had people come in doing the license and things, but as in
Yeah.
training, we are actually reaching out, talking to the schools about having a student after school working, because they're so,
Well, then
they're
good
so
for,
savvy.
good for community
That's a great
service too.
idea.
Yeah,
They get that.
They need
Yeah.
and they're most definitely,
You know, 'cause if they have a phone or an iPad or, you know, a Surface or whatever,
Mhm.
you know, to give training and so they can be in contact with their
Mhm.
families and friends.
and especially with all the new apps that
Mhm.
are out,
Mhm.
they're
Oh, yeah.
more tuned
Yeah.
Mhm.
of the new apps versus that we are. So, yes, that's one thing that we are reaching out to, because students are students are wonderful.
Yeah.
And in an intergenerational way.
Mhm.
It helps out on both ends.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah, that's
Oh, most
for sure.
definitely.
Yeah, so.
So I just broke down the staffing, and then including the home delivered meals, which is a repeat, and then just explaining to you how we got that, the money from the formula grant from the
Mhm.
state.
Mhm.
So right now, the formula grant is based on the census of 2010,
Mhm.
which was the 4,045 elders.
Mhm.
Obviously, that's gone up. So we do foresee,
Yeah.
even though we foresee an increase in that grant,
Mhm.
the state in some ways is getting concerned. So right now it's $12 an elder. It may go down to $10 or $11 an elder, but it will kinda all, because of the increase that we have. So
Mhm.
it's to see what will be happening, and I'll keep you informed.
Do you interact with the town clerk to get the demographics then?
Actually, because I'm working on trying to get us age friendly,
Mhm.
and so actually I've been working with Tufts.
Okay.
Their program, the Tufts Foundation, is very active in getting the statistics for
Mhm.
the surrounding area. Actually, and this is that printout. I mean, so I've kind of had the luxury of that, so I haven't had to reach out to the clerk as of
Okay.
yet.
Okay.
But I will be. There'll be more things to come.
Any questions for Terry or?
Sounds like a very busy place.
Yeah.
A lot going on.
All I can say is that
Good job.
seems like
Thank you.
that is always full. Your parking lot is never in.
No, and people get a little agitated sometimes because it's so full that they have to park in the street and things, but, yes, it is, we try to rotate things around, and, but yeah, it is hopping, and it's wonderful, that's wonderful that it is. And I have to say, there's been an influx of, older adults coming in. Exercise is a big thing, very important, so.
When do
and
they come, was it 55 when they become eligible or 60?
60.
60, okay.
But if their spouse is 60 and they're 55,
They can- yeah.
yeah, so,
So no questions? Thank you.
thank you
Appreciate
very
it.
much.
Great job.
Thank you very, very much.
You did a great job.
Jeff.
think we're good for tonight. I don't, we'll follow up, certainly with George on Monday about the, information on, the breakdown for his
Okay.
10K, and I'll, work with Lou to get the information on the Brave Act.
Okay, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Yeah. Carrie?
I do have an update.
Okay.
At the last meeting, you asked about, the liability
The
insurance
COIs,
for
yeah.
the church parking lots, so, we do have certificates. The town is listed as a certificate holder, we're not listed as primary.
Okay, I would make the suggestion that you request that you be made primary, non-contributory, as an additional insured, and you have waiver of subrogation on the policies.
Is this gonna cost them more money? I'm just curious, because this has been the way we look
Ye-
through
ye-
history, so
ye-
I'm
ye-
just
years ago,
wondering
years ago, yes, it would've,
if- Okay,
but most of the policies now are actually being written with it,
okay,
and there's usually no extra charge on it, okay?
Okay.
Unless you're in a specific industry, there can be a charge, but in most cases now, there wouldn't be. And I assume, if it's Catholic churches, the Archdiocese probably already has it, you know, and if the other churches, if they're within a group, they probably have it as well, okay? And what that does is basically, if they do something, okay, their policy takes precedence over the town's, okay? And they can't come against the town because of the waiver of subrogation,
okay.
you know? So it actually protects the town much better. And I'm finding, especially other communities, Winchester being one, they're also putting that on their snow plowing and all their other subcontractors. You know, they're getting more, Newton's another one that does it, you know, so it's becoming more and more common.
Okay.
It's
I
still-
would be very concerned that we should have it on all our snow
Yeah.
removers. Slip and falls are becoming devastatingly expensive.
Or the lack of them doing something, you know, putting a snowbank back far enough so you can't see,
Yeah.
you can see around the corner and an
Mhm.
accident's caused,
Right.
okay? That can come back to the town,
Mhm.
okay? And if there's bodily injury, that can get expensive. So I would highly suggest that, we add that to everything. You know, so,
Okay.
Thank you.
anything else,
Matt, I think we're good.
Okay, thank you. Next is on our agenda is the minutes, from January 30th.
Make a motion to accept the minutes
Is there
as
a-
presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. I'll entertain, anything else from the committee? No? Entertain a motion to adjourn?
Second? Oh,
So
I'll make the
moved.
motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, we're out of here.